Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. The game is in trouble, I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle, I got it for real. Still keep me going, I wake up and hustle, you won't see me buckle, I've been in the field. Man of the town, you been in your fields, I'm adjusting this crown. Call me your majesty, either that or your tragedy. We shutting everything down. I've been hot like somebody put a candle on them. Off top, I don't really stand opponents, this mine. The moment is run out and start a bunch of pandemonium. More game, I got some, the skill is bar one, y'all done, the game in the coffin. Referee screen, rest in peace, and think twice if you next to me, it's West. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean, this for my city, yeah, this for my team.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon. This is One Ass Cheek, Three Toes. I'm your host, Brian Beastrilla Art. And to my, right of me is the Mad YINZER. And at the bottom there is Nate the Great, or as they both call each other, the Mad Hatter and Nasty Nate. Whatever.
Nasty
Nate and the Mad Hatter. But anyway, how you guys doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's a slow day.
Yep, it is a slow day.
Slow day.
Hopefully the weather's nice.
Oh, yeah, the weather's nice here, too, as well. It's probably nice there, obviously, because you're in Texas, so, stuff works. But it's like 53 here, so that's good. It's climbing. It's supposed to be up to 62. Yeah.
Damn. It's like 71 here.
55 now. It's like 55 now. Just to get some quick stuff out of the way, the Detroit Pistons beat the New Orleans Pelicans 127-81 last night. Blew them out on their own home court. Damn.
I will say this:
guy
did have a hell of a dunk on Isaiah Stewart. That was nice. Yeah,
well, 2 points don't mean crap when you get your ass blown out. But anyway. It's a poster. That's all it is. Major League Baseball. The Tigers beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 9-6. There you go, Robbie. Good for you.
Did Skeens pitch?
What's that?
No, Skeens ain't.
Yeah, he is supposed to be one of the up and coming pitchers this season too. So.
Oh yeah.
He'll be traded in like 2 years.
I would say him and
like a
Struble
damn
are
Tigers
probably the
fan.
best pitchers in the league right now.
That's what the Pirates do, man. They get the dude, they get the hot stud to sell tickets, and then they get rid of him when he gets a new when he's up for a new contract.
Upcoming games, Tigers are at the Twins. In fact, they're playing right now, and the Red Wings will be playing the Capitals today at 7:00 p.m. Let's see if Ovechkin can get down to. He's 8 right now. He's 8 away from Gretzky's goals. Let's see if he can go ahead and get a couple of goals tonight. Oh, hopefully not in a win, but whatever. Obi, yep, big Obi.
I like Obi.
Yeah, Obi's good. So what's going on in your guys' neck of the woods? We got a couple of things to report in the NFL. Brandon Graham, University of Michigan, who's played 15 seasons in Philadelphia, is retiring. God damn time, man. I thought that dude was never going to retire. Jesus.
It's probably the reason why they signed Ojulari, because they knew that he was going to retire, and so they needed to get a vet to replace him.
Yeah. That's the other thing, too. Thank you for mentioning that. Ojulari got signed yesterday by the Philadelphia Eagles. So, obviously, there was a replacement, the Sheagles. Yeah. Giants to sign offensive linebacker Demukaj. Damn, I wish these people had better names. Anyway, Jeff Okuda Matata is heading to Minnesota, so he can get burned every play by us. And let's see what we got else here. Running back Homer signing with the Bears. Travis Homer re-signed with the Bears. Don't! Right. That's basically what that
The
is.
Bears.
I didn't want to be the Bears.
The Bears.
And let's see. The Eagles also reward offensive tackle Lane Johnson with a rework deal.
Yeah.
So they can get some more cap space. Defensive lineman Loudermilk is returning to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Isaiah Loudermilk, that is. What you think about that there, Robbie? That's your guy.
He's the depth. He's depth. He won't play.
Depth chart.
Depth chart.
I don't
Is he
know.
from Arkansas?
Injuries happens.
That dude couldn't stop me running through the line.
Damn. And the Steelers also signed safety Juan Thornhill.
I'm excited about that.
I like that one. That was a good signing.
Yeah, you see that video he made where he was throwing his Browns hat away, and then he like went to his Steelers hat in the terrible town, started waving it.
Good rangy safety.
And yeah, he's a safety. Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons re-signed defensive lineman Contavious Street. Ronald Darby. I never know where the hell he goes. Cornerback Ronald Darby is signing a 1-year contract with the Texans.
Still in the league?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he would have been out by now. He's another
one. I thought he retired years ago.
Of course, we have re-signed linebacker Mitchell Ogude. Depth. So let's see. Fullback Jacob Johnson signed a 1-year contract with the Texans. It's very kind of weird because, fullbacks are like a dime a dozen now. Steelers also re-signed wide receiver Ben Skowronek. Is that how you pronounce his name? Skowronek. That's right. Okay. Yeah, Skowronek.
Skowronek. Yeah, he's a good special teams.
He's a little scat receiver. Skowronek.
Yeah.
He's a little scat receiver.
So let's see. So we got a poll here. Who will be the Giants starting quarterback in 2025? Your choices are Russell Wilson, and people keep forgetting about Jameis Winston. I don't understand. Aaron Rodgers or Shadur Sanders. No mention of Cam Ward. You think Shadur is? That's what they say too. With Russ Wilson being a close second.
Makes the most sense.
They need Aaron Rodgers. Sign Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers ain't going no whack-ass Giants.
They need to sign Aaron Rodgers and get him away from the Steelers. I don't want him.
That might be an idea for a CUDA there, Brett. And thank you for signing on. Yes, going to safety. That might be where he needs to be. He's not a good corner. Hell no.
I was thinking that for years. Like he should have been a safety instead of corner.
Well, we shouldn't have got him at third either. But
I truly believe with Aaron Rodgers, either he goes to the Vikings or he retires.
Better than coming to the Steelers.
I don't think I think the Vikings are like near the end of their rope about him anyway.
If they sign him,
you know what, dude?
If the Vikings sign Rodgers,
with JJ, bro.
But I was hearing rumors that JJ is not fully held, and that's if they go with Aaron Rodgers, that might be a possibility.
I think they're going to make a move for a quarterback, but I don't think it's going to be a big name quarterback. I think it's going to be somebody lower tier because they only got Rippon and Mullins as backup quarterbacks. I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be putting my faith on those two.
You need somebody who's going to win.
I can't believe.
Yeah.
Before JJ.
It's like the first year I heard where Minnesota is actually getting some hype.
Maybe Jameis Winston. Maybe Jameis Winston might be a good signing for him. 30 for 30.
Actually, I don't agree with what the Vikings did with their quarterback because, like, I've been on record saying that I didn't like the fact is they lowballed Darnold, and they could have kept Darnold and still added the pieces that they added and been a real good stout team. But also, too, I don't like the fact that they let Daniel Jones go because at least if you could get Daniel Jones under KOC, see what he's got in the tank, and then whenever JJ's ready, then JJ takes over the reins.
I mean, that's as simple as it sounds. It depends on now the Darnold thing. I don't know too much about because obviously they've already put that plan in motion and it worked for them to a point. But if Daniel Jones got shipped off, that means nobody could do anything with him. And if you've got a quarterback coach that can't do anything with a quarterback and they ship him off, that tells you a whole bunch about that quarterback. So Daniel Jones is probably a crap-ass quarterback.
That is true. Unless they thought they were going to keep Darnold and then the talks fell off or they lowballed his ass and then he's like, yeah.
Well, no, they got rid of Darnold first and then they got rid of Daniel Jones. The other way around. They got rid of Darnold first, and they didn't re-sign Darnold. So they had a plan. They just didn't want to re-sign. I think that was the biggest mistake they made. They should have just re-signed him. They had a better offensive line now.
Right.
They got better offensive line, and Hawkinson is healthy. Addison and Jefferson.
You still could have added those pieces, like quarterback.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb by the.
I'm glad they did it because they're probably going to suck now. So I'm glad.
JJ out there fall on his face for a couple of games and be all right. Or go ahead and bring Rodgers in. Bring Rodgers in so Kirby can have some more receptions this year.
Bring Rodgers in for the love of
It's all about the hype train.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota's definitely going to be one of those teams that are going to be very good in our division, besides the Lions and the
You think so, Pete, without a quarterback?
Packers. What's that?
You think so without a quarterback, like a legit quarterback? I mean, and JJ being the
rookie? They're still going to be good. JJ McCarthy can wing it.
Who's the Vikings running back?
What is your over and under?
They got two of them.
The Vikings. Let's say if JJ's the quarterback, let's ask that question.
Well, they're not a 14-3 game. They're not going to be a 14-3 team. None of the teams in the North are going to be probably more than 13 win team. I see Minnesota in their first year with JJ more like an 11-6, 10-7 type of team.
Hell no! I would take the under and say they'll probably win JJ.
There's too much talent on there. You can't. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but quarterback matters, buddy. Quarterback matters.
Yeah. Well, we got to understand something too. The Detroit Lions have a different offense. They'll have a different person calling the offense. It's not going to be all them trick plays that Ben Johnson has played. They still have the same most of the personnel, but the offense is going to be different. So it's however John Moore matches up against what's his face, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings. So Flores, yeah. And if he does that well, like Ben Johnson did, then we should have no problems. But everything is new,
right?
So when everything is new,
but I'm not talking about like the Lions versus the Vikings. I'm just saying in general, I don't see the Vikings winning more than 8 games with JJ McCarthy as a starting quarterback.
No, I didn't see them winning. I didn't see them winning a lot of games with Sam Darnold either. But look what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, could it be fair to say right now that Sam Darnold's better than JJ McCarthy?
I don't know. I mean, that's the only time will tell. I mean, you got to understand something. JJ McCarthy is kind of like a game manager in himself. He was doing that with Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I made no sense.
So if he does that with he's got the weapons, so he doesn't really need to do too much. Yeah, and the other running back besides Aaron Jones, Robbie, they got that other guy too. What the hell was his name that they got?
Madison, is it?
Madison, yeah, they got Madison. So they have a pretty good 1-2 punch with them too. Better than what they had last year. Cam Akers sucks.
My question is, can JJ throw it efficiently? Because he came from a system where he just handed the ball off all the time. Once in a while he threw the ball, but he was not a guy who was going to throw back and throw the ball 20, 30 times a game. So
Well, you might not have to.
No, Michigan had a running game, didn't they?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you got to be able to throw from the pocket efficiently in the NFL. It don't matter how good a running game you have. You got to be able to throw consistently. Can JJ do that? We'll see. That's going to be the big question I have.
He has 2 good wide receivers, so I don't see why not he can't throw the ball.
And a good tight end.
Like, come on, Jetta got Darnold paid.
Yeah, well, you got to get somebody to get the ball to them. So,
but you also got to think he's McCarthy's coming off an injury, but didn't he have like a double surgery on his knee?
Yep.
Yeah, need to clean up too.
They had a cleanup. It was a surgery and then a cleanup. Yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that surgery can.
I see where you're coming from, Nate. I understand your perception on that because of that whole issue right there. Plus the fact he's a rookie quarterback, because he's considered a rookie quarterback right now. He hasn't played it down yet. So until you go out there and throw a ball in the pro league on day one, you're still a rookie to me. So
it's going to take time for him to really get gelling in the NFL. Rookie quarterbacks just don't right off the bat just turn into stars. Even
right.
Jaden Daniels
I understand that, but I mean he's like I said, when he gets in there, if he gets his feet underneath him, and he has the weapons, it's not like he's coming into a bad situation.
Oh, he's set up for success if he's the quarterback they expect him to be. That's the thing.
He'll be. He'll be all right. I mean, it can. I mean, the height to me of the record could be. Could be 11-7. The low could be probably 8-9 or something like that.
Huh?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Minnesota does surprise us before. It's not like they haven't.
True.
So they just don't get it done when it needs to be done. Like when they need to win the division, when they need to win the playoff game. I can't talk too much shit because the Lions do the same damn thing. So
and I think that point that you brought up is the reason why they moved off of Darnold, because the 2 biggest games of Darnold's career, he was ass.
Well, actually, yeah, because even the time when we played them when they were undefeated in the beginning of the season, when they're 5-0, he didn't play bad. He didn't play bad. He threw that one pick, but that was just an outstanding play by Brian Branch. That was his fuck up. If Brian Branch didn't jump up and make that dive and interception like he did, that probably would have been a first down or whatever it needed to be. But I mean, the Vikings played really good in that game, so I'm not. Darnold played really well, so I'm not even taking that one up. But it was the last 2 games. You're right. And he doesn't know how to play. I guess he doesn't know how to play the Rams either, because the Rams kicked his ass twice. So
they had to address the O-line because it was so bad. They got annihilated.
Yeah, I think that anytime you're weak up the middle, and I believe that's the reason why they changed centers, because that's where a lot of that pressure was coming from both the Lions and the Rams.
Yeah.
Coming up the middle up against your quarterback is never good. I don't care who your quarterback. I don't care if you're Tom Brady. You're gonna get hellacious pressure, and that's not gonna make good throws.
I mean, look at the Bears. Same thing. I mean, they were weak at center, they were weak at guard, and they traded for 2 guards and they traded for a center. So they've somewhat solidified that O-line. We'll have to see what it looks like on paper and all. In a game, but it should be better than what they had. No doubt about that.
So Robert, we had this banter yesterday about what Cincinnati's record was going to be now that they signed frickin' Frack there with the dude, Cincinnati's record. Where do you think Cincinnati is going to place? Well, first of all, where do you think they're going to be at in the AFC North? What place do you think they're going to finish?
AFC North?
Yeah, for the North right now. Yeah.
Third.
See, that's what I was saying. And then what do you think they would finish at in the AFC overall?
Answer. They're not.
AFC overall, they'd about 8 and 9. I give them about.
What with that kind of offensive power, and if
Yeah,
they,
but
let's just say they
what?
fuck around and keep Trey Hendricks.
Yeah, granted they got all that offensive power, but who are they going to stop with that weak ass defense?
Right, but what I'm saying is they're not. You're putting them better than the Steelers with no quarterback.
Well, they'll do good against teams that can't score. But if they play offensive teams that got offense just as good as theirs, they're done.
So okay, so when I do rankings, and y'all can agree or disagree with me on this, when I do rankings of who's better team, I put a lot of stake in who your quarterback is. And the reason why I told B that I think that the Bengals could be like the fourth best team in the AFC behind the Ravens, behind the Bills, behind the Chiefs, is because Joey Burrow by himself literally almost willed that team to the playoffs. And who knows what happens if he gets in the playoffs. Joey Burrow is killer in the playoffs, and he was MVP in my opinion. I mean, Josh won it, but Joey did more with less than anybody else. We can all agree on that. You know,
Well, no, he didn't do more with less because he still had two top receivers in the league, two of the top receivers in the league. So no, he didn't do more with less. He still had his offense.
But yeah, defense.
He still
at least Buffalo had defense.
Well, they had the same the same
Buffalo
offense
didn't have the
last year,
receivers,
right?
but Buffalo didn't have the receivers
Buffalo's
that
defense was
Cincinnati
better
had.
than the Bengals defense. But anyways, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, like, when I go and look at who the better teams over another team, I look at the quarterback tremendously. And right now, it's Lamar, Joey, and then probably the Steelers, and then the Cleveland Browns. I'm not putting the Bengals below the Steelers when you have no quarterback right now. Like, your only quarterback.
We had no quarterback last year. We had no quarterback last year. We beat them.
Burrow over them.
Everybody doubts the Steelers. They always, but the Bengals are always number two. Bengals. People were picking Bengals to finish second for the past like 2 years, and they haven't. And they had this high-powered offense, but they got no defense. And in the AFC North, there's two crucial things in the North: run the ball, play defense.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Matt Hatter. I'll ask you. In today's world, in the NFL, is it better to have a high-powered offense or a high-powered defense?
Let's see.
What gets you more wins?
Defense. Look at what the Eagles did.
Yeah, but I mean, the Eagles. I mean, a lot of it was the line of the Chiefs' detriment. So if the Chiefs had a better line, I don't think the Eagles are as dominant as they made them look.
I can barely hear him. He's like low.
But I'm just saying, like, offenses like are big now in the NFL. You have to have a high-powered offense. You have to be able to score.
Yeah, but I think the Eagles laid out the recipe. Now they ran the ball and played defense. That was the recipe for like them dominating.
But
I'm not saying the Bengals aren't a good team. I'm just saying they had.
But a good offense.
They're going to be shopping for defensive players in dollar stores.
But a good offense can also supplement a bad defense in the sense that the offense can go on long drives and keep the defense off the field.
Yeah, and plus you got to look at the Bengals. Like they really don't have no running back.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a deep running back class. They can get somebody in the draft.
Yeah, like they don't get a running game. That supposedly pass game they got.
They can get somebody in a draft. That doesn't make them Derrick Henry. The point of the matter is these running backs ain't the greatest running backs in the draft. This draft class sucks. Okay, the running back the only two running backs that are out there that are any good are the top two running backs right now, Gente and the other guy. What's his face? Those are the only two running backs that you want to put.
I would consider, but I mean,
no.
You know what hurt the
Bengals? Considering any of these guys, they're not making any big splashes any damn where. So no.
Well,
the only two top.
That's your opinion. I've watched a lot of these running backs play, and I think that some of these guys will be actually pretty good. Now, star power, probably Gente and that Omarion guy are probably the two guys that you probably would say, like, yeah, those guys can come in and they could be really
They
good
can hold
back.
down an offense. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Everybody else is basically somebody that comes in there and is a backup. So if you look at that, Cincinnati ain't going to get a running back. First of all, they're going to be They're going to be concentrating on defense because that's something they don't have. Especially if they trade out Hendrickson. If they keep Hendrickson, which I think they are going to keep anyway, they're still going to have defensive people on that side of the ball. So I'm just saying they're not going to get a running back. And the running backs they got right now, in order to have long drives and to extend drives, you have to have a running game. They do not have a running game. They screwed that up when they got rid of my man last year. That's
talking about Mixon.
And in Cincinnati always starts off bad in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that's another thing too about them is they really put themselves behind the 8 ball early on, and then they have to fight to win at the end.
And their defense is ranked 30th in the NFL. Like, how many teams wins a division with a 30 ranked defense? Like
win or gets a Super Bowl.
Gets a division, win a division with the 30 ranked defense. Like
we had a pretty bad defense. We won our division.
but Detroit's defense was at least getting turnovers. Cincinnati's wasn't.
Yeah,
they weren't getting anything.
I just know that if you've got Joey Burrow and you've got 2 stud receivers, there are not a lot of defenses going to be able to stop that team. Now, if they could get a decent running back, I mean, that offense is going to gel. Like they're gonna put up points. Now, of course, it comes back to the defense. What's the defense going to do? It all depends with Trey. If Trey comes back, then they have some glimmer of hope that the defense can be somewhat decent.
Well, you're going against a bunch of ifs. You're not going against about what's going to happen because they're not going to get a running back. They're not going to get a running back. They're not going to get a running back.
How do you know?
They're not going to get a running back, dude. If they're going to get a running back, they're going to be late round for a backup.
Oh yeah,
they're not going to get a running back.
They're going to get a running back in the draft. I guarantee you that.
It ain't going to be in the first 3 rounds.
Maybe not the first 2. Probably maybe the third.
No, it won't be the first 3 rounds. No, they're going to go defense. They need defense, Nate. When a team needs defense, that's what they're going to do. What did the Lions do last year? What did they need? They need cornerbacks, right?
Yeah. But
what did they do in their first 2 picks? They went cornerbacks. Basically, all 3 of their picks were first 3 picks were defense because we needed defense. So
no, they weren't.
That's what I'm saying. Where the Cincinnati's going to go. Because Hendrickson is not, he can't do everything by his damn self. Because Sam Hubbard left. Yeah. People keep forgetting that. That's the other end. Yeah, they don't have DJ Reader anymore.
You also understand too how these GMs work. They don't reach on players if they don't like the player. They go by whoever's usually the best available player. And if that best available player is a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round, don't be surprised if they do. Now, first, I agree with you. It's got to be defense. It has to be. Just like us, we have to take a defensive end. Like, I don't think that we can go into this draft and not take a defensive end in the 1st round. I just don't think we can do that. Even if there is a guard that we really like, I think it has to be a defensive end.
They got to do something. They got to do something in between now and draft day.
Bengals can always shop at dollar stores for defensive players.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of defensive players out there. Their cap is bad though. That's the problem.
Yeah, what they prove with signing the 2 wide receivers is the cap don't really exist. I don't even know how they did that.
Who?
The Bengals signing both receivers. Like where did
they just put a lot of their money into 2 of their 3 players. Like
holy shit, man! 3 players, you put all your money. 100. That's 125 million a year.
The Lions could go get the Lions if they wanted to. They could go get Trey Hendrickson and pay him, make him the highest paid player, and go sign Aiden and give him the highest paid player deal. It can happen. Whether it should happen, that's a different story. I mean, you don't want to tie up your whole roster with 4 players, but if you're trying to win now and you're trying to get to a Super Bowl, which both teams are. Because both teams have good quarterbacks, solid weapons, and they've been there in the playoffs. That's where you got to ask yourself, is it time to make that move,
The Bengals, they're going to have to win every game in a shootout if they don't fix that defense. and
Yeah.
hopefully they get lucky and score the last touchdown every game.
I mean, dude, you can turn a defense around pretty quickly, man. Like, you know,
Joe,
we're not talking they have to be the 85 Bears or stalwart like the Eagles. You can turn around a defense and get them middle of the pack. If the Bengals can be middle of the pack with that offense, that's a really good team right there.
they have to get a run. They have to get a running game, because if they don't have no running game, every team's going
Who are their running
safety
backs?
over the top, and they're going to shut them two receivers down.
Who are their running backs? Right
I think it's Chase something. I forgot his last name.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
Oh,
Chase Brown.
Dude, I like Chase Brown. He's a decent running back.
He's decent.
He's a decent running back. I forgot they had that guy. Yeah, they like him a lot.
But there's another thing. The Bengals O-line really isn't that good.
I mean, they invested a lot of capital in that O-line the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Trey Henderson. How much is he's demanding like what, 30-35 mil a year?
He probably wants to be the highest paid, I would imagine.
So he wants to be higher paid than Myles Garrett.
Yes. Which I think he's got a viable reason, because he's been consistent and he had the most sacks last year. Like, he's been consistent throughout his career. Like, him and Myles Garrett are probably the most consistent DNs right now, and Michael Parsons. Those three. If you look at
they got 5 running backs on the roster. They're definitely not drafting a running back.
I forgot.
They got Gary Brightwell, Chase Brown, Kendall Milton, Zach Moss, and Samarji Perine.
Yeah, they brought P-line. That's right. They brought P-line back. Yeah, you're right, B. I apologize. I totally forgot they had Chase Brown. Yeah, they're good at running backs. Yeah, they'll run with Chase Brown or Moss or P-line as a 2. Yeah, so there you go. They're good. They're good there offensively. They just so now they can go defense, like you said.
They're not gonna have any long drives though. I'm sorry, not with Chase. Chase is a home run hitter. He's a home runner. He hits a hole, he's gone. If he's not going to be giving you consistent carries that are going to be, it's not happening.
Look,
but he's been. Well, I don't know what his numbers were this last season, but I mean, when I watched him play, I was impressed by the guy. He has good wiggle to him, good speed. He doesn't have to be all world. I mean, shit, they got 2 good receivers that are all world. And now you're adding another running back, and then Burrow, of course, that guy just can light it up. Yeah.
He did most of his damage. Well, you can't say he did most of his damage. He did most of his damage at the end of the season. Brown did. His best game was against the Raiders.
They kind of gave more of a bigger role as the season went.
Well, I think Zach Moss got injured. That was one of them. Zach Moss did get injured, and they did. Yeah, they brought back Perine, but Perine.
Yeah, I think they
got that dude from Chicago who they let go.
Oh yeah. Herbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's no longer on the roster.
Yeah.
He had 4.32. He was averaging 4.32 years average, 4.32 average. He had 999.
Oh, dude, almost had
990 yards.
Holy crap.
Well, most of his yards came. Well, you got to take into account that they had a lot of shootouts last year. Like that,
which means they weren't running the ball at the end.
Which means they
running the ball in the beginning.
No, the shootouts. The Baltimore game, I think Baltimore put 40 on them.
Right,
a lot of the games were
shootout. You're not really running the ball.
Yeah, but if you want to win championships and divisions, you got to have some type of a defense there.
I agree with you. If they sign Hendricks, man, they're right on pace to have an okay defense. And you don't have to have a great defense to win games.
What was the Bengals' record last year?
8-9, I think, or 9, something like that.
They were like
9-8 or
9-8.
9-8.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
They scored 472 points, but they gave up 434 points. That's a
right,
lot of points given up.
yeah, no doubt. But the thing is that if you re-sign Hendricks and you draft defense the first 3 rounds, you can get impact players that can shape up that defense. And depending on where they need to put them, where they have the biggest holes, I would probably say their D line, probably. You know,
Like I don't put them Bengals down because they're in my division. It's been like that for a long time. It's the AFC North always ran through Ravens and Steelers, and I always said until that change, until the Bengals can prove they can win consistently, I'm not a believer in them.
yeah. Oh.
Okay, sure, they can win it like once every like 4 years, but do it consistently. Like if you want to put your feet in the ground, you gotta grab that shit by the horns and just ride that shit, you know?
Well, I mean, I think that they definitely are putting the pieces in play to try to, to get to that next step.
Yeah, like I heard this like for years, like going back to when Chad Johnson and TJ Who's Your Mama was playing for them. Now when they had that great offense.
Yeah, but they didn't have the quarterback that they have in Joey Burrow, man. You got to remember.
Yeah, remember they had Carson Palmer. You know, there was this big offensive juggernaut.
But he wasn't Joey Burrow. I think Joey Burrow's already better than Carson Palmer.
Joey Burrow, it's a quarterback-friendly league now, man. Come on, if teams were actually allowed to hit the quarterback, these quarterbacks would be on the ground, part of the pavement.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's fair, but I mean Joey Burrow. I mean, if we're just talking comparisons between the Steelers and Bengals, the Bengals have had more success than the Steelers have lately in the playoffs. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, if you count the last they had one good year. Like ever since the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, what have they done?
They went to the Super Bowl.
No, that was that one good year. But what have they done after that year?
Probably should have won it if Aaron Donald doesn't mess up that play. Like I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if they can just get a decent defense, man, this is going to be a tough team to beat in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
So Steelers been in the funk for the past 5 years.
Yeah, but they've lost every time in the first round.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Can't happen forever. Eventually, Steelers are going to push through and get at least one playoff win. Hopefully. Yeah. I was just saying that the Bengals get 1 year and everybody hangs on their nutsacks like one good year. And like
you got the Super Bowl, man. I mean, they were supposed to go. They were supposed to be the next up and coming team, but the AFC's tough, man. You got the Ravens, you've got the Bills. I mean, you've got a gauntlet there, bro.
Yeah, not to mention that Bengals actually had a good defense when they went to the Super Bowl. They had Jesse Bates, that one safety. Like they should have never got rid of him. Like that was a key piece. That was a huge piece of their defense. Yeah. Like Jesse
I'm
Bates.
Gonna put it to you this way: they could get into the playoffs. I mean, sun shines on a monkey's ass once in a while, but and they get in the playoffs, they're going to lose because they're going to run into a defensive team. They're going to run to a defensive team, and it's going to be one and done for them because they're not going to be able to beat anybody.
Mm-hmm. How like normally high-powered offenses.
I'm surprised at that comment, B, because you were all over Joey Burrow saying he was the MVP, and when you've got an MVP quarterback, it don't matter how good your defense is. You can still get to the big dance with an okay defense if you have an MVP caliber quarterback. So I'm a little surprised by that comment.
Mm-hmm. It's like the old saying goes,
no.
How do you beat
MVP if they took him in the playoffs because he took him in the playoffs with that badass defense? Yeah, I didn't say he was going to win any playoff games.
But you also said, and I quote, you said Joey Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL too. Am I right or am I wrong?
He is one of the best quarterbacks. It doesn't mean you're going to win anything because of that. Your defense still plays a part. It's a team sport. If you do not, you can be number one in offense all the damn time. The Lions are offensive. They're proof of that. You don't have a defense that stabilizes that. That's going to come back and bite you in the ass sometime or another.
When you have one of those top special
especially in the playoffs, It doesn't make a difference if he's an MVP. He's not going to take you to the promised land if you don't have a defense behind him. Period. Because he does good on the offense don't mean nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Yeah, high-powered offenses are great, but they're
you got
nothing
those
if they.
quarterbacks, and anything's possible. That's my opinion. Yeah, a great defense does help. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, a great defense does help because they can smash them high-powered offenses them out.
But a special kind of quarterback can win with a mediocre defense.
Cincinnati don't even have a mediocre defense.
Well, they need to sign Hendricks. They sign Hendricks and they're mediocre. And
They'll
then
be good.
I mean, the anomaly of that kind, like for instance, I'm looking at the best defensive ranked teams, or I'm looking at the Super Bowl teams and where they from all the way from the beginning of what year is this? 1966. So in their offense and their defensive ranked, the worst team that went to a Super Bowl was the New York Giants, who went in there at 9-7. They had a 25th ranked defense, and they had a 9th ranked offense, and that was with Eli Manning. So I mean, if you want to throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks, yeah. I mean, I'm serious. That anything can happen. You're right. It's the NFL. Anything can happen. But Drew Brees had a number one defense. Drew Brees had a number one defense and a 20th ranked defense. So he went to a Super Bowl.
I'm willing to bet that a lot of these teams did not have as great a defense as you guys say they are, and they probably had a more high-powered offense than anything. But they had a decent defense. Like you can win a Super Bowl with a decent defense. You don't have to have a high-powered defense. The Chiefs won their Super Bowls. It wasn't always on the backs of the defense. I mean, the defense was decent, but I mean, if you look at the rankings, I don't think they were top 5 or anything like that. You want to talk about anomaly? Last year, when the Eagles won, that was an anomaly because a lot of times you don't see the number 1 ranked defense in the Super Bowl. That's another thing.
Let's see. It's happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Out of how
7,
many? Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay.
That's just from 2014 down. They have 14. So let's see. And then let's see. Out of top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 teams have top 5 defense and went to the Super Bowl.
What were the offensive rankings?
Well, for instance, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, offensive ranking was 10th. Their defense was 2nd. Russell Wilson, when they went to the Super Bowl, the Seahawks, offensive ranking was 9th. Defensive ranking was 1.
So they're top. So they're top.
Ben Roethlisberger went to Steelers, offensive ranking 20, defense 1. Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers again, not 9th, 4th defense. 9th offense, 4th defense. Tom Brady, 4th offense, 2 defense. That's basically a wash any damn way. Tom Brady again, 12 offense, 1 defense. Brad Johnson, that's the quarterback I was talking about, by the way. 18 offense, 1 defense. Of course, the Ravens. We already know that. With Tony Banks and Trent Dilfer, they were 14th offense and 1st in defense. So it happens more times than you think it does.
Hey, that Super Bowl, the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, what was the Bengals rankings that year when they went to the Super Bowl?
I don't think the Bengals was that high.
Yeah, what was their defensive rankings when they went to the Super Bowl?
Rams had a better defense than the Bengals did. I'm pretty sure, but Beal called me out if I'm wrong.
So, okay, statistics for these numbers. Defensive rank, number 1, 14 times and 10 times for the offense for number 1 ranking to be in the Super Bowl.
The Rams had to have the better defense in that because they had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that's the only thing that this thing don't give me because it goes up to 2014, which is like 11
We lost
fucking years
Nate.
I'm missing here.
Nate, come back.
Uh-oh. Maybe he tried to look at something on his phone. That happens. I don't know why this is so incomplete. It shouldn't be incomplete. Number one ranked defense has won the Super Bowl 28.57% of the time, while the number one offense has only won the Super Bowl 20.41% of the time. So that tells you defense wins championships. That's the whole reason why they say that.
Offense puts them away.
Yeah, I'm not getting this whole that's what I want, but it's not telling me. This don't tell me from 2025 though. Jackasses. I hate when they do that. The average Super Bowl winner had a defense ranked 8 spots better than the average offense. 14 of the last 25 Super Bowl winners were top 10 in both offense and defense. And let's see. Those are the 10 team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, there's Nate.
Sorry, y'all. Lost y'all.
No, that's it.
So who had a better defense in that Super Bowl? Was it the Rams or the Bengals?
Still trying to find out.
Okay.
Because when they're giving me their top.
It had to be the Rams, man. I'd be shocked if it was the Bengals.
Well, the Rams probably did have a good defense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So it's fair. It's fair for both. You have to have a good defense, and you have to have at least a top 5, at least a top 10 offense. So.
Well, that year Cincinnati's defense was good. You know, that's before they lost a lot of key players.
Yeah.
Well, like I was telling Robbie earlier, the number one ranked defense has won the Super Bowl 28.57% of the time, while the number one offense has only won the Super Bowl 20.41% of the time. 14 of the last 25 Super Bowl winners were top 10 in both offense and defense. And why do they cut this stuff? I mean, you know what? I'm getting sick of the damn internet.
Wait, say that again. Say that stat again, B. You said 28% of the Super Bowl teams that had a number one defense won?
28.57% of the time. Number one ranked defense has won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
28.57% of the time, while the number one offense has only won the Super Bowl 20.41% of the time.
Oh, okay.
That's just the number one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, that's 20% is not a lot. I mean, shit. So, you know, I guess
it's enough. 28% is enough.
I mean, but
it's almost 30% just about of any Super Bowl. The average Super Bowl winner had a defense ranked 8 spots better than the average offense.
What year was that? Was that 21? The Bengals and Rams, or is that 22?
Yeah, that was 21.
Yeah. I think, but they're only, like you said, they're only basing it on the top offense, top defense. If you look at the numbers, if you said top 10 offense compared to top 10 defense, I wonder what the win percentage would be for those. It'd probably be the same, around the same, I would imagine.
Probably be higher, because like I said, I told you 14 of the ones that were number one, and it was like almost 22
the Cincinnati Bengals
or something.
Cincinnati Bengals, they had the 17th ranked defense in 2021. Mm-hmm. But then they're not saying anything about Super Bowl. Bengals were 17th, and the Rams were 10th in total defense.
Damn it.
Well, You gotta have both. We just know that you at least gotta have a top 10 offense and more likely a top 10 to middle defense.
All right, team defense 2021. Rams were 15th. The Bengals were 17th.
Oh wow,
That's going by the. I'm going by. That's going by the regular season. That's not Super Bowl.
oh
It says team defense. Buffalo Bills were 1 that year.
yeah.
New England was 2. Broncos were 3. Saints were 4. Buccaneers 5. Titans 6. Cowboys 7th. Chiefs 8th. The Niners 9th, and the Colts are 10th.
Yeah.
The worst ranked defense in 2021 was the New York Jets at 32, and the Detroit Lions were 31.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right.
And the Steelers were 20. That's sounds good to me.
That's low.
Yeah.
That's a bad year for y'all.
Yeah. Well, Steelers secondary was all been ass. Like the linebackers and D-line were always good. It's the secondary that always kills the Steelers.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, Tom, and great of a coach he gets, and all the credit he gets, never fixes the secondary.
That is another thing too, because he was a defensive backs coach when he came to the Steelers, and that was his bread and butter. And you're right. They really haven't had like a all-pro type of secondary. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick's probably the best guy you have, and you guys traded for him.
Like the Steelers they never change it up, man. Like if their pass rushers are always going to be the edges. Like they never change it up. It's always going to be T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith.
They rely more on the front seven. I think that's where the Steelers make their hay in their defense. And they've never really done like secondary dominant.
They're predictable.
Mm-hmm.
Like they never blitz the middle linebacker. Like if you watch the Steelers game, then that middle linebacker never comes up the middle.
Because you've got guys at the end that are going after the quarterback.
Yeah, you got 2 middle linebackers. You can at least blitz 1. We played a 3-4.
Well, they're probably trying to see what the quarterback's going to do. On top of that, they want to make sure that the running backs don't try to, they want to fit those running backs inside.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys run a 3-4 defense, so I mean, you guys, the specialty of a 3-4 defense is to have those in guys that are linebackers that can stand up or put their hand in the dirt and still.
It's like the defense that Steelers run. It's old and outdated. They play defense like it's 2008 again. It's 2008 ain't here, and that was a long time ago.
It's an old school franchise, man.
Yeah, you got to get up to date. Like like I've been saying for years that they need to get out of that 3-4 because they play a hybrid. They play a 3-4 with Mike Tomlin's cover 2 defensive scheme philosophy.
But they have a lot of good players for that 3-4 defense. Like
yeah.
I don't know how good Watt would be in a 4-3 defense. I don't know how good Hayward Highsmith would be good in a 4-3 defense.
I think Alex Highsmith is overrated. He never gets to the quarterback. If you ask me. Most of his sacks came in garbage time when we were losing.
Well, I mean that's because your offense can't put up points.
let's be real about that, man. When if Alex Highsmith ain't getting to the quarterback, it's because T.J. Watt is getting double teamed and he's not getting to the quarterback.
Right, but I think also a lot of it has to do too. The fact is that you guys weren't scoring points on offense, therefore you're putting more pressure on your defense.
That too,
and if your defense is out there a long time, they're going to get gassed. They're going to get tired.
They should have never got rid of Bud Dupuis. When we had Bud Dupuis, him and TJ, they were unstoppable.
Yeah, I liked Bud. Bud was a good player.
When they decided to let him go, I'm not a fan of Alex Highsmith. I never was. Like he's okay, but he's not like a beast like everybody's hyping him up to be. Like he'll be good as a backup, but I don't know about a starter.
Yeah.
The other kid we got, Nick Herbig. I like that kid. That kid,
I like him too. Yeah, Herbig
kid can play.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually keep him and get rid of Alex Highsmith.
What is he? Is he a backup player at this point, or I thought he was starting?
No,
Well,
he's
he was starting because Highsmith was hurt, right?
he's Alex Highsmith's backup.
Okay.
You know who y'all should have got, but I don't think you were in the market for him. But I think he would have been a damn good Steeler. Robert Spillane from the Raiders. I don't know how the Raiders.
We had him in 2020.
Yeah.
Dude, I like Spillane. Guy is
he's
dog.
good. He's good, man. I remember that hit he laid on Derrick Henry back in 2020. Man. He stonewalled him, man. If you ever get the chance, Google that, man. That like you can hear that hit. I was like, damn, it hurt me. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, Spillane, man. I don't know how the Raiders let him go.
It's the Raiders. They're stupid.
Exactly.
Get out of here with that just win, baby. Rename it to just lose.
They always lose.
But you could. It's the Raiders owners why they suck. It's all the owners' fault on that. They don't know how to run the team. They don't know how to run the team. He never gets a young quarterback.
Take a lot of hits on these high character people or low character people, and they miss. You know.
Mm-hmm. You trade for Geno Smith, and you think you're going to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, Geno's going to make them somewhat competitive, but I don't know. I don't know about winning a Super Bowl, but
they're the Seahawks. They're the Seahawks in the AFC now.
That division's going to be fun to watch. I mean, Chiefs are not going to have an easy road for sure.
I think Denver's going to be the team to watch out for in the West.
I think
so too.
Watch.
Denver, man, they got two good wide receivers. They got Nix was up and coming.
And going back to quarterback, man, I'll take Herbert over Nix.
I like Herbert.
Again, you can base assess teams off of a quarterback, but that's not the true basis of it. You got to look at the whole team. And the Chargers are not that complete. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason that they didn't regain. I mean, Khalil Mack is like 500 years old. They signed him for way too much anyway.
He's still playing at a high level, which is crazy. And they got Derwin.
Yeah, not as much as he used to. And then they lost Bosa, so that takes away from that. I mean, the only thing that they got going for them is their offensive line. Mm-hmm. But then they lost what's his face? The damn running back that always gets hurt all the time.
You talking about Dobbins?
Dobbins, yeah.
Who cares? They got Najee Harris, man. Najee Harris is gonna fucking ball out for the Chargers.
Yeah.
He's a good.
He didn't ball out for Pittsburgh, so how do you think he's gonna ball out for?
But he's had 1,000 yards every year. That's pretty consistent.
You force feed him.
Who cares, man? I'm telling you, Najee Harris is gonna have a good year this year for the Chargers. Just you watch. Hey, because you know Harbaugh loves to run that football.
That's fine. You let him run it last year. Didn't do too good for him last year, but
Najee.
They were doing good at the beginning of the season.
He's too big. He got to drop down and weight. Get faster.
But Harbaugh likes those big backs.
If he would just drop down and weight and get faster, man, he would actually be a better running back, I think.
Yeah. I can't wait till we start doing predictions because it'll be fun to see.
I got nothing but good things to say about Najee. I like Najee.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have to wrap this up, guys. I appreciate both of you for joining on here, as always. You know, and I always appreciate Brett for commenting on chiming in on his comments too.
Shout out to Brett.
Nate, he's your guy because he does usually agree with a lot of the stuff that you say. So that's your guy.
Brett. Thank you, Brett.
And so tomorrow's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking some baseball. We're going to have our baseball guy on here, Chris Pepe.
Right. Yeah.
Baseball. Okay, I got to get my baseball stats up.
And he's going to be on here talking some Tiger baseball and some just regular baseball, the national Major League Baseball. So he's going to have pretty much the forums if you want to join us tomorrow for that. But This has concluded the end of the show. For One Ass Cheek, Three Toes, I am B. Strilla. You have the Mad Yinzer there and Nate the Great.
Have a good
we
one.
all get you far out. You have a good day, everybody.